And then the Bulls finally break up for good this time. Then you got the Spurs.
Right, exactly. So what year was it all this motherfucking party?
It wasn't really much in the 80s and 90s.
Or the 2000s even.
Yeah, you read my mind. I was about to say that too, because the 2000s was mainly Lakers and Spurs that won most championships.
Right, Kobe got 5, and fucking Duncan
Got 5.
4.
No, well, yeah, Duncan got 4 in the 2000s.
Well, 5.
But three in the 2000s and 1 in this decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only teams that won outside of those teams were the Celtics, Heat, and Pistons.
Pacers.
And Pistons, yeah. It was the Pistons.
Yeah, the Pistons.
Yeah, but it was only 3 of those teams. It was only 3 teams that won it within that decade, outside of the Lakers and Spurs.
Yeah, only people to sneak one in, yeah. So it was always juggernaut teams and us trying to figure out what team was going to be good enough to beat them for at least 1 year.
So you saying this decade has had the most parity?
I'm saying that this decade is the same as any decade. It's always been juggernaut teams, and we've been trying to see which team would be good enough to sneak in a win.
Yeah, that's pretty much true, because now if you look at this decade, LeBron and Steph both have 3 rings apiece.
Thank you. And we've been just trying to figure out who's going to sneak in one.
Right.
That's it. Think about it. We go, LeBron was what? Well, 2010 was Kobe, he won. That was the end of his reign.
Right.
2011
Dirk finally won.
He snuck his one in. That's the one that gets snuck in.
Right.
At first, the Spurs was the team that snuck one in. That strike season at the end, when Jordan was there, when they played when Jordan retired, right after Jordan retired, it's a strike season. They get Duncan and Robinson. They had the Knicks got all them players, and Patrick got hurt.
Right.
Remember, they had Spreewell, Houston,
Larry Johnson, yeah.
Camby, but Patrick got hurt.
Right.
That was Patrick's chance to sneak one in. He got
hurt, and the Spurs won.
And they snuck theirs in.
Right.
But that's the greatness of Tim Duncan. They kept consistent with theirs. They said, shit, we got something. So they became a dominant force for the next decade with the Lakers.
Right.
Now Golden State just did what the Spurs did. How? Well, look, it was 2010, the end of the end of the Lakers Spurs decade.
Right.
They boom. Okay, that's 2010. Dallas sneaked theirs in. The next year, Heat win.
And people feel that he snuck one in because that was a strike season.
Yeah, but they was there the year before, so you can't call that a sneak.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
I agree.
That's like the Sixers in the 80s. The Sixers was always, even though they won one, they kept going, challenging. So
right.
They was the ones that got the chance to get one. So he won that one with the Heat. Then he won another one with the Heat.
Right.
Right. So Dwayne Wade already snuck one with the Heat the decade before, so that gave him his 3.
True.
LeBron said, fuck that, let me leave, because I'm going to always be chasing them. They lost the 4. The Spurs snuck one in.
Yeah, he snuck another one in.
Yeah.
Just like that 99 title.
Yeah, unfortunately for the rest of the league, this is a team that done it before, so this maintaining their dynasty. So now, the next year, LeBron go to where?
Came back to Cleveland.
But Steph and them snuck one in.
Big time.
Yeah, and ain't nobody think that was going to happen.
Right.
So now that's their emergence of their new dynasty. We going to be the new Spurs of the West. We going to be the new team that take over. The Lakers gone. We can go and get ours in. That's why us getting LeBron now was perfect, because it proved what I say. In my lifetime, it's always a span where my Lakers lose for 8 years, then they start winning again.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. In 2016, do you think the Cavs snuck in that title?
No, I told you. Cavs was supposed to win that year. Golden State snuck in the title. Kyrie got hurt and Kevin Love got hurt. LeBron was averaging a 44 triple-double, man. Look, LeBron was so good, Andre Iguodala was the MVP.
Right.
Who snuck a championship in?
Gotta say Golden State.
Right. They won with 2 of their best players, because then the next year when everybody was healthy, who won?
It was the Cavs, but then people always feel that, well, Draymond got suspended, Bogut got hurt, so that ruined all the Warriors' momentum. That's why they blew the 3-1 lead, which is BS. Because Draymond came back for the last 2 games.
You know what happened? If Bogut wore down in that series, if Bogut had got hurt before then, and I saw them playing bad, I would say that. But Bogut got hurt in that series. Hey, that's just what happened in that series. So the next year, Golden State get better.
Way better.
No. And then the next year they get better again. They stay better and win another one.
Right.
So now they emerging as the new Spurs. Because remember what we said. You said it. They snuck one in after that strike season. Golden State snuck one in during that LeBron changing from the Heat season.
Right.
The Heat could have stayed the old dynasty and fell off like Boston did, like all the East, or like Chicago did. They could have fell off, but they didn't. They fell off different because LeBron said, fuck that, I ain't going to stay here for them to fall off. I'm leaving and making a younger team better. And it worked.
Right.
Problem was, it was a sneak team that was able to come up because the Spurs got old. Talkin retired.
Right. That's very true.
Spurs got old. Gotta remember that. The shit was different. So now it's a new era. It's old players is leaving. LeBron about to leave soon.
Right.
And then it's about to be some more new players that's coming in. That's about to see what team going to take over from that. It's going to be some more sneak teams. I think it's going to be R.J. Barrett. Whoever R.J. Barrett go to, if he can stay healthy, they're going to be a good team. Zion Williamson, he a beast, but I'm too scared of Robert Tractor Trailer, Larry Johnson, or Clarence Weatherspoon with injury or just bad eating habits, or the fact that he playing against grown men and that shit ain't working no more, might catch up.
That's pretty interesting. So, who are your top 5 favorite teams?
My top 5 favorites are what? Basketball?
Yeah. From any decade, any era.
Oh, okay, that's perfect. Okay, my number 1 favorite team is the 1980, what is it? Is that the 3 Lakers that beat the Sixers? No, it was the 5 Lakers. The 85 Lakers that beat the Celtics. Because they was running gun. And they was showtime. And I think they could beat anybody. Then I think the 87 Lakers could beat anybody. I think the what Bulls team did I like? I like the Bulls team that won the 72 games. I like that team. That team was very well put together, full of veterans and role players to accentuate the guys around them. I like how they played. I like a team that never went. I like a team that never, ever went. I just always would like to see how they fed. Kevin Johnson's Phoenix Suns that lost to the Portland Trailblazers the year they lost to the what was that they lost to? They lost to Pistons. So that's the 1989 or
90
Phoenix Suns. Yeah, I would have liked to see them win. Because I think they would have beat the Pistons. I think Kevin Johnson would have fucked Isaiah Thomas up.
Okay, how do you think the Phoenix big men would have fared against the Rick Mahomes and the Bill Lambiers and the John Sallies and the Dennis Rodmans?
The ones that did dumb, I think that those big men would have outran them. I think the problem is that while we talking about, I think Rodman, that would have been a series where Rodman, you would have got to see how great he was, because he would have had to run with guys like Tom Chambers, but he would have been getting dunked on by that white man. So he would have been getting dunked on. And I think people keep forgetting that they had Joe. They was like, yeah, they had Joe Dumars, Vinnie Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. I said, yeah, but that Phoenix Suns team had Jeff Hornacek, Kevin Johnson, and Dan Marley. So that would have been a hell of a team to watch. I think they could have got it because of that run and gun style.
Okay. And what's your fifth favorite team?
My fifth favorite team? Shaq and Kobe Lakers with Glenn Rice.
The 2000 team.
Yeah, 2000. With Ron Harper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
But I'm biased. I'm a Laker fan.
I'm not mad at you. I don't blame you.
I do like the. I hate to say. I feel like blasphemy saying this. The 85 Celtics that beat. The 86 Celtics that beat Houston for beating us. The way that they whooped their ass for not being the Lakers. Seriously, I never seen a game played like that where it seemed like they wanted to play the Lakers so bad that they whooped the shit out of them and was making fun of the Lakers at the same time. Like, y'all lost to these motherfuckers.
Right.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Ass like that. Like, man, look. Not only is we gonna fuck them up for y'all, we gonna embarrass y'all. Y'all better come back to this championship next year.
But you know what? Out of all the 80s Laker teams, I feel the 1980 team was underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I always felt that team was underrated. I don't think that team got its just due.
No, and it was because it was overshadowed by Kareem's injury and Magic's ascension. But that team was probably one of the deepest teams in history, and that was when Jamal Wilkes was actually a factor, and that was also when we had Norm Nixon.
Yep.
So it made it a deeper team. So I'm all with you, young fella.
Yep, that team, as far as all the 80s Lakers teams, never got its just due. My top 5 NBA teams would be, okay, now I'm a little bit younger, so you got to bear with me. Out of the Bulls teams, I really like the most. I actually like that 98 Bulls team because it wasn't no easy route for them to get there. They really had to fight tooth and nail to, win that 6th championship, especially that Game 6, which we all say that was a classic. That Bulls team.
No damn classic.
Well, in a lot of people's eyes, it was classic. A lot of people's eyes, that Game 6 is a classic because Jordan hit the shot.
No, that's one of the most memorable shots. That shot is a classic.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But that game was not a classic. That game was horrible.
Yeah, that was a gritty game. That game was in the 80s? The final score was in the 80s.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
That was a grind out game.
I ain't making shot. That was not good basketball.
That was a grind out game. That was.
That game was so bad. The NBA, done tried to get away from that kind of basketball right now.
Right.
So no, that game. I mean, I like good defense, but that shit was terrible. And it lets me know how bad the league had got. Because Utah, come on, man, Utah. Look, they had Brian Russell. Really, nigga? Really?
Okay, now my second favorite team was that 2004 Pistons team. That team was, to me, was pretty underrated. I always liked their, now they were kind of, some people say, well, boring team too, but I always liked their togetherness, their unity. They knew how to share the ball. Plus, I was a big Ben Wallace fan.
Hey, look, that's the most, look, I'm going to go ahead and say this. That wasn't, look, would have got beat by every championship team. But what I'm saying is this, look, about that team. From top to bottom, that was one of the most deepest rosters, full of talent, ever to win a championship.
Right.
And people don't see that. And until I was like, all right, you like Chauncey Billups, right? Yeah, he was an all-star, right? Yeah.
Right. Rasheed Wallace.
Right. What about Rip Hamilton?
Right.
Did he make one? Did Tayshaun not make one or make an all-defensive team?
Right. He was, in fact, he was their best perimeter defender.
Exactly. So at the time, he was the league's best perimeter defender.
Yes, he was.
That's that. All right.
Rasheed Wallace was 3-and-D before 3-and-D became cool.
Then, okay, we ain't going to talk about Big Ben. Because you already see him. But then let's go to that bench.
Lindsey Hunter.
Right, who's a sound veteran. The guy that they actually tried to bring in to replace Isaiah Thomas damn near a decade earlier. So that was kind of ironic with that. And he became a beautiful open three shooter.
Right.
But then they ended up with like guys like Darvin Ham. And
right.
then you go to, what's my guy? They played for Utah with Darren Williams. From Turkey. The center, the first.
Oh, Core.
Right, and Matt was on that team. See, people forget, and that's what I'm saying. People forget that team was kind of deep, and it was young. These guys were young; they weren't old at that time. And the Lakers with cachet names like Karl Malone, Gary Payton. But they were on their last legs.
Right. My other
the Lakers had the old Gary Payton. They had the old Gary Payton.
Right. As well as the old Karl Malone.
Yeah, the old ass Karl Malone. And I never liked Karl Malone, so he should have never had been there.
Okay, another one of my favorite teams. I'm being biased because I'm a Cavs fan. The 2016 Cavs, because the way they won that title, you know, coming back from 3-1, beating a team that was 73-9, and plus, it seemed like they weren't fazed by being down 3-1 because they had already been through worse by having to replace coaches in the middle of the season, going from David Blatt to Tyronn Lue. And also, that team was just fun to watch. Through that whole run, they just had fun together, rooting for each other. When everybody scored, everybody touched the ball.
It was all good just a week ago. That's fucked up. I ain't mean to shit on the Cavs like that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I understand they ain't rebuild mode. Every team got to go through rebuild mode. I don't care who you are.
You know what? I used to like y'all when Hart used to play for y'all.
Yeah, Ron Harper was pretty underrated. man, a lot of people hated the GM for years for trading Ron Harper.
Y'all had Hawk, Price, fucking Doherty, and
Nance, Craig Elo.
3 low.
Yeah, people feel like if the GM at that time, who was Wayne Embry, didn't trade Ron Harper, maybe the Cavs would at least won one championship.
They were scared to build around him. I don't know why. Ron was explosive. I used to like. I was never mad at the Cavs. I was glad that they won.
Yeah.
And look, this the fucked up shit. People always focus on, oh well, look, they was up 3-1, and then Draymond gone, they lost. I was like, well, what about the other games they could have won?
Right.
And then when I said KD left, they said, well, he was up 3-1. Why he ain't stay? They lost. All he had to do was win one more game. Like, dang, ain't this a bitch? So, hold up. The fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, Shaq and Kobe Lakers, my favorite team is my favorite team is the 0-1 team. Because of how dominant they were throughout that whole playoff run. They were correct me if I'm wrong, they went 15-1 throughout that run in 2001?
Yeah, that's when they beat the Nets.
No, it was the 76ers. They beat AI.
I thought that was when we beat the Nets. Did we play the Nets one time, beat the shit out there?
Yeah, that was 0-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the jump when we beat the Pacers. I like the jump when we beat the Pacers because I thought we weren't a better team as far as that next year because they jailed, but I just like Glenn Rice though. I was so happy we had Glenn Rice.
Yeah. And also, my last favorite team, and I've always loved the Spurs, how they play. I love what Pop always does. But out of my favorite teams that won the title is the 2014 team. Because they dominated, but they didn't dominate in no flashy way. They were big, but they dominated with passing, cutting, defense.
Yeah, and they were deep too.
That's enough. I was just about to say that. Yeah, they were very deep. I mean, yeah, you had Ginobili, Duncan, Parker, and Kawhi, but people forget about dudes like Danny Green, Patty Mills, Bellinelli, Boris Diaw. People forget about Boris Diaw too.
That's that year Danny Green set the record.
That's right. A lot of people forget about that, how deep that team was.
Yeah.
That's one of the main reasons I liked about them, their depth.
That son of a bitch, Danny Green.
Why Danny Green has to be all that?
That bastard was hitting threes like that against my beloved Lakers. Don't talk to me about no damn thing.
Okay. We'll remove that from the statement.
If you listen, fuck you.
Okay.
Do that to the Lakers.
We'll,
You hurt me like this.
Okay, well, strike Danny Green from the record.
Danny Green, Kwanzaa Kareem will not be coming to your house. You 3-shooting motherfucker. I'm hating. I said it. Look, it's not hating when you admit that you hate. I'm hating, goddammit, you good shooting bastard.
Oh man, I bet. Well, dang, if you ever see Danny Green play your Lakers, I bet you booing him every time he touched the ball.
Why you don't like Danny Green? That nigga you play for the Spurs. Fucking Kobe and them up. Woo! You gonna do that to an old man? Woo!
Okay, who are your top 5 favorite players?
Yes, sir. Yeah. My top 5 players. That would be Kareem, Magic, Kobe Bean, that I enjoyed watching a lot of. I used to like to watch Alex English. That was my guy. And what was another one? Oh, LeBron James. Oh no, my bad. Allen Iverson and LeBron James.
Okay. Okay, my top 5 would be Magic, excuse me, LeBron, Hakeem, shooting guard, Reggie. Okay, I need a 4. Ooh, this is tough. I say Tim. I'll go with Tim.
Oh, you going by position. Well, if it's position, that's easy. That's Magic, Bean, motherfucker, Kareem would be my small forward. Oh, it'd be Bron. And my power forward, you can have Tim Duncan, because you can't go wrong with Kevin Garnett. Let's go.
OKG with his bald head self.
That's right. That's my guy. Talking shit and everything.
Couldn't stand him when he was with the Celtics. Sometimes he beat my Cavs.
Shit, he beat my Lakers. Shit.
But it's all forgiven.
I knew he'd never win another one ever again.
Yeah.
That boy, was I right?
Yeah, that's true.
Because he spent all them years in Minnesota getting dogged by the Lakers.
Right.
He was good, but that team wasn't good enough.
That's very true.
He's not good enough. So every year he was getting his ass quiznack, and I watched us coast to the championship.
Okay. I got one more question. Now, AI recently released his all-time starting 5. He put Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and Shaq. Now, I'm going to flip this question. Who would be in your all-time starting 5, and which players would you have come off the bench?
My all-time starting 5, I already said, the Magic Man, Kobe Bean. Give me Kareem in the middle. Look, since everybody gonna pick him, I'm gonna take LeBron. You can have LeBron. Give me KD. And I told you I'd take Kevin Garnett while people take Duncan off the bench. I'm running with Kevin Johnson. I'm running with I want somebody with range on this. Mitch Richmond, I'm running with at my small forward. I'm running with Scotty at my power forward. I'm running with the Rain Man, and at my center, give me Big Pat.
Okay. Oh man. Hey, you stole a couple of my players. So now this is gonna be a tough bench for me to come up with.
I gave you LeBron. Shit.
Okay. Now I need 4 more. Okay, I definitely bring Steph off the bench for shooting.
Okay.
You took Scotty. Small forward. Dang, I'm gonna have to come back to small forward. I'll take McKellen his prime at power forward. In his prime. Not when, he had all the foot injuries.
Well, look, you take Scotty, I'll take Larry.
Okay. You just robbing everybody from me, no?
Oh, I might say, if you don't want him, look, you take Scotty, I'll take Julius Erving.
Okay, Dr. J. Okay, Dr. J. Definitely take Scotty. Cause I think, man, cause if you notice when Jordan left, Scotty did shine.
Yeah, he was playing like a young Dr. J.
Okay,
He was playing like a young Dr. J.
Okay.
So what was the problem with the young Dr. J? Wasn't nobody over there to help. The young Dr. J get over.
Right.
See what they got to play to stop Dr. J from being the man. Ain't that weird that Dr. J was a star for real? That's just like how Vince Carter was. He needed somebody else to be the star.
Right. That's very true.
And Tracy McGrady was so stupid, he didn't realize he didn't have to leave.
Right.
He didn't want to be Scottie Pippen, but then he went over there to Detroit to play with Grant Hill. And at that time, Grant Hill was a better player. He was going to be Scottie Pippen regardless.
Pretty much. That's definitely true.
That's another reason I ain't the biggest Tracy McGrady fan, because I think that was the most selfish thing I ever heard. He said he didn't want to play at Toronto because he didn't want to be in Vince's shadow. He wanted his own team. Then when he saw he couldn't win at Orlando, he was complaining he wanted to go to Houston because he needed help, right?
Right.
Then he still never got out of the first round of the playoffs, right?
That's true. And had y'all mean.
But yet he a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That's crazy.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how people like Kevin Johnson, and I can't believe I'm advocating for this Pepper Booth, but Tom Chambers ain't a Hall of Famer.
Highway robbery. Okay, now back to my bench. Okay. I'll take Scotty, Kevin McHale. I take Steph.
Okay.
I take GP because of his defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now I need my big. I say, actually, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'll go with Lambeer. Because not only he was a banger, he could shoot threes too.
Hold up.
What?
You ain't take Shaq?
I thought you took Shaq. Oh no, wait.
Big Pat.
Okay. Well then, okay, I'll scratch Lambeer. I definitely take Shaq then. You've been taking the players from me, man. I thought you took Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
You Scottie Pippen because I take Julius Erving.
Yeah, I definitely take Shaq. Lambeer be third string.
And look, point guard, you got Gary Payton.
Yeah.
I just like Kevin Johnson. I understand the offensive explosion look. You don't understand something. It's real poignant. We just talked it out. The Lakers ain't go to the championship twice with Magic Johnson. One of the times is when 2 times Houston did it. No, it happened 3 times. 2 times Houston did it. 1 time Portland did it. The year though that Portland went to the championship, they didn't beat the Lakers. Phoenix beat the Lakers.
Right.
You know, it was the year after Kareem had retired. The Lakers was number 1 in the West. The dude that beat him was KJ. KJ was killing them. And they had Portland beat, but KJ twisted his ankle. And then Hornacek and all them couldn't beat Portland. Portland snuck, won, and then lost. That's why they traded to get Barkley.
Right. That's definitely
So, I got the only point guard to beat Magic Johnson in the West, Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, Kevin Johnson was pretty underrated, in my opinion.
Unstoppable. I saw a game he played against the Wizards. The motherfucker had a triple-double. He had 10 steals.
Wow.
He played against the Bullets. I was watching him. I was like, man, KJ can't be stopped. Unstoppable. Left to right crossover and leave you. Then a leap 18 feet in the air and dunk on you.
That's very true. That is so true. Well, 1LVZ, man, thank you for joining me on this interview.
No problem, bro. Thank you for having me.
And also, tell everybody all the channels that they can watch and subscribe to you.
You can subscribe to Peckerwood Punishment TV. That's on YouTube. You can also subscribe to the 1LVZ NBA Talk on YouTube. You can catch me with my brother Ticket TV, doing a lot of things together. And you can catch me on the 1LVZ Live, where I talk about a range of everything on my live. So you know, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Check out these man's channels. Watch his videos. Once again, thank you for being on here with me, 1LVZ.
All day, bro. All day. Ain't no
All
problem.
right.